Many Americans have decried racism as a scourge in American society. Now it's also a serious public health threat, according to the nation's largest federal health agency. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky pointed to the disproportionate impact of COVID-19 on communities of color, as seen in case numbers and deaths. Walensky said, quote, "Yet the disparities seen over the past year were not a result of COVID-19. Instead, the pandemic illuminated inequities that have existed for generations and revealed for all of America a known but often unaddressed epidemic impacting public health, racism."
I think it is a statement that's long overdue.
Northwell Health was among the first healthcare systems nationwide to declare racism as a public health crisis in October of 2020. Dr. Jennifer Meares says Northwell is working to improve healthcare access in underserved communities.
We have established this health equity task force made up of community board organizations, faith-based ministers, people through our FQHCs, people committed to the community to help establish the partnership, and we're doing working on vaccine delivery, vaccine education.
Advocates say addressing disparities in housing is also important because your zip code determines how long you live and what kind of health care you have access to.
If we don't address this very complex issue, which is rooted in structural racism, we will not only have a very divided and unequal country, but the country as a whole will not be strong.
Virginia Huey, News 12, Long Island.
These guys have played a lot of golf at Fairchild Wheeler in Fairfield.
Well, that wasn't too good.
And after 18 holes, that's a lot of walking for some. But this electric Caddy has been a game changer.
This is like a godsend for me. I can get my walk in, and I still don't have to have the burden of trying to push the cart up these tough hills here. It's fantastic.
It's called Temple Walk, and Fairchild Wheeler has 4 of them.
It's like having a robot caddy that follows you, actually, except it doesn't pick the clubs for you.
The electric Caddy follows a small transmitter that you carry.
It's starting to really catch a lot of people's attention. I have one customer out there right now, he plays 4 times a week with it. And it really is catching people's eyes, and they want it right away.
It even has a GPS unit that tells you how far you hit your drive and yardages to the green. And maybe the best part is that it's hands-free.
And you can have a lot more time to think about your upcoming shot. You have a lot more time to visualize your shot.
It's only $15 for 18 holes, and for these guys, it gives them more time to focus on their short game. In Fairfield, Mark Sudol, News 12, Connecticut.
Starting next week, Lakewood School District students who are in either public or not public schools who are at least 16 years old can come to the Vaccination Clinic set up here at Lakewood High School. Now, the clinic is mainly for students, and today the focus was on students with special needs. Parents lined up with their children under the rain long before the doors opened up here at this vaccination clinic for Lakewood school students at Lakewood High School. Parents were excited for their children to be vaccinated in hopes of returning to some normalcy.
It's very important for children like my son that are special needs to be able to get the lessons that they get.
Abraham Cohen talked about the challenges children like his son Eli face because of loss of instruction.
If they're out of the system and they lose their skills, it could take a year for them to catch up, and they lost out on basic skills that they're going to need.
Across the country, we're seeing a rise in COVID cases among young people 18 to 25. Infection control specialist Gael Diallo says consistent messaging is important when attempting to reach younger populations.
Young people that suffer from depression and other consequences of cutting up from social relations. And that's really important in impacting your life. So now they're trying to catch up, but it's so important for them to understand that there are risks here, and then they have to be responsible, and it's for the good of everybody.
Starting Monday, April 19th through Thursday, April 22nd, the vaccination clinic will be open to all Lakewood students 16 and older between 5:30 p.m. and 7:30, and on Sunday, April 25th, 3:30 to 5:30. And of course, registration is encouraged.
Naomi, with more younger people getting COVID, as you mentioned, is the Lakewood site seeing lots of students registering? Are they happy with it?
So officials seemed excited about it. They told us already some 200 students have already registered for the coming weeks. And I should mention, though this site is for students, they did allow some senior citizens to come in today and get vaccinated.
Thanks very much, Naomi. That was Naomi Yane. Thank you.
We specialize in bite-sized desserts, cakes, and cake pops, and everything that's beautiful and delicious.
With weddings and large events canceled last year, co-founders Melanie and Diana Moss quickly pivoted their business.
It was just like, not whether we're going to survive or not, it's like, how are we going to survive? We went from a local dessert company to a company that is able to ship nationwide.
Not only can you get a do-it-yourself kit sent to your home, but you can also sit in on a class with Melanie herself and have her teach you how to decorate the cookies.
Hold the icing bag right under the knot here and just let the icing fall. We do a live 45-minute cookie decorating class and we ship the kits ahead. We're really excited to bring people into our kitchen here.
Moss shares her expertise that helped her become a champion on the Food Network's Chopped in 2018. And she also taped an episode of Beat Bobby Flay before the pandemic. Now these sisters have expanded their website and shipping options to continue to celebrate special occasions just on a smaller scale.
We are servicing people with great dessert without a store, which I think has really made us a stronger business. We're constantly coming out with new designs and flavors,
showing they're here to satisfy a sweet tooth in both good and bad times with desserts to be remembered.
I started baking with our grandmother when I was 6, so I know she would be really proud of where we are and that we share this together, Diana and I. We want you to be like our family.
In Williamsburg, Emily Lorsch, News 12.
They walked in over there. I was like, oh my God, so my parents will be my next patient.
In her own words, what are the odds? She said she's been giving vaccines at the Fort Washington Armory for months. And while she knew her parents were coming in that day, she was shocked. They ended up at her booth in such a large center.
I'm never nervous or anything, but then when I was doing it for my parents, I just felt like, okay, I have to do this perfect.
Maliha Tabassum said vaccinating her parents, who she lives with in the Bronx, was a huge relief.
I worked with COVID patients, and I was always scared that I might bring it home.
Not only was a weight lifted off of her shoulders, but she was happy to make her parents proud.
This time when I was vaccinating it, like my parents could actually see what I'm doing and the impact that I was making.
And the significance of her work wasn't lost on her father.
This moment is a very happy moment.
Her father posted about his daughter giving him the vaccine on social media. And she said that inspired family and friends who were hesitant to also get the vaccine.
I did it for my parents, but it felt like I also did it for other people.
She said she had neighbors in the Bronx pass away from COVID, so she was happy others were encouraged to get vaccinated. Marissa Marcelino, News 12.
The words "Meet Me on Main" taking on a fun new meaning this weekend in Nanuet.
I love it. I'm glad that everyone's here. Everyone's having a great time.
The beer is good. The band is good. The people are great.
The Nanuet Chamber of Commerce and Junior Nanuet Chamber co-hosting the event that brought crowds, food, and music to Main Street. It's a welcome change for lockdown-weary residents.
One, I've been in the house for a year. And two, I love my community. We've been, anytime we have a community outing like this, I think it's wonderful.
The area from Orchard to Church Street closed off to traffic to make room for the event where there was something for everyone.
I ate chocolate chip cookies.
Grilled burgers, lots of hot dogs, and pizza were in high demand. And there were also lots of smiles to go around.
We do the street fair in Nanuet. Now it's canceled with COVID and everything like that. So this is the first time that we're doing something like this. And the goal is to make this happen more and more.
So the next time someone says, "Meet me on Main," you can expect a get-together like no other, with some of the friendliest people you'll ever meet. In Nanuet, Wilkinson.
Can I get a wave?
News 12.
Even though we're in a global pandemic, it shouldn't stop us from raising money for childhood cancer because that never goes away.
When Alexa Moore was just 3 years old, she was diagnosed with a rare kidney cancer.
I'm gonna make it.
That's right, baby.
The first actual St. Baldrick's event that I attended was when I was in treatment, and my mom's school.
At that time, we weren't sure that Alexa would make it, so we know that she's a true miracle, and seeing her get up on stage with that courageous heart and smile.
If you are wondering what St. Baldrick's is, it's a foundation that not only raises awareness for pediatric cancer, all the funds donated to this awesome foundation go directly to finding a cure.
The Moore family rallied their resources to support the search for a cure.
And I was a guest speaker at most of her events until I was about 13. And then when I was in 9th grade, with my middle school and my student government, we made a St. Baldrick's event at my middle school.
The St. Baldrick's organization chooses 5 ambassadors to represent the thousands of children whose lives have been impacted by childhood cancer. This year, they chose Alexa.
I stand before you here a stronger person because of what I went through, with a new appreciation for life.
We know that we're one of the lucky ones to have our daughter because they do such great work for pediatric cancer.
You know, with this charity, St. Baldrick's, for over 10 years now. They have to be well into the 6 figures now in terms of the impact that they've had for this cause.
I had so much support that kept me optimistic and kept me going, that I want to keep doing that. I want to give back and do that for the kids that are fighting now.
And now Alexa is planning a virtual event for this year. In Stony Brook, Elizabeth Haushagen, News 12, Long Island. The Bronx may soon be getting its very own Apple Store, as first reported by the website 9to5Mac. Now, there are already multiple Apple Stores spread all across the city in every borough but the Bronx. News 12's Michelle Ross at the Mall Bay Plaza, where we are hearing it may be built. Michelle.
The location has not been confirmed publicly, but we're told that this may be the home of the new Apple Store. And that website, 9to5mac.com, says that Apple has begun constructing an 8,500 square foot space at, quote, a significant property. The website points out that there are job openings on apple.com in the Bronx. The Bronx Overall Economic Development Corporation tells News 12 that the Bronx Borough President's Office has been encouraging Apple to open a store in the Bronx for over 4 years, and that Ruben Diaz Jr. signed a letter by every Bronx elected official at that time, letting the tech giant know of the untapped market in the only borough without a store. BOEDC tells us we are delighted with their decision and hope this is the first of many. We are available to assist with workforce development or anything else they may need to get them up and running. And many suggest the now closed Saks Off 5th store take the space as the Apple Store. But after taking a peek inside, it doesn't appear any work is being done yet. At the mall at Bay Plaza, Michelle Ross, News 12.